Salut tout le monde, c'est Amy. Aujourd'hui on se retrouve pour l'épisode 21 de Sherlock Holmes. J'espère que vous allez bien, moi ça va. Donc dans l'épisode précédent nous avons découvert que le directeur du jardin botanique avait été assassiné et non pas est mort d'une simple crise cardiaque. Et qu'il avait été assassiné par une plante, a priori. Donc c'est un peu particulier. Alors est-ce qu'il y a eu quelqu'un derrière la plante ou quoi? On ne sait pas. Je ne peux pas aller voir l'estrade. D'accord, je ne peux pas aller voir l'estrade. Donc du coup, il faut juste que je retourne au jardin en fait. Donc voilà, on est de retour au jardin botanique. Donc j'espère que vous allez bien. Moi, ça va. Je commence à être un peu fatiguée, mais bon, c'est pas grave. On va essayer de lui parler à lui. Savoir s'il peut nous ouvrir les bâtiments ou pas. Oula, on a beaucoup de choses à lui demander.
Mr. Hamish, can you explain to us what happened to the colonial collection? It seems somewhat depleted.
But, most likely maintenance work, tidying up.
You're not sure, then? But you're the deputy director.
Well, I am busy. I cannot be everywhere at once.
Ouais.
As deputy director, how was your relationship with Montague Dunn?
To be honest with you, Mr. Holmes, it could have been better. You see, every Tuesday he would carry out his inspection of the gardens, but it was solely to make an impression, great pretense that he cared at all. He would give out absurd orders, ignoring anyone else's opinion. He would then disappear for the rest of the week. He was what some might call a man of action. I'd say rather he was overzealous and chaotic. So after all, it was no wonder, perhaps, that he ended up like that, if you take into consideration his kind of lifestyle.
Ouais, il l'aimait pas beaucoup, quoi.
You mentioned that Mr. Dunn led a particular lifestyle.
Well, it's no secret that he enjoyed, celebrating, shall we say? He was a member of the London Smart Set. He was famous for it. That and...
And...
he had an eye for the ladies, to put it mildly, Mr. Holmes.
D'accord. Ok.
What is your opinion of Albert as a student of botany?
He's useless. I often tell him so, and I can only give him cleaning tasks. Botany is not his life's work, and his father well knew it. He was furious about it.
He was?
Oh yes, he forced his son to work here, and he never missed an opportunity to criticize him publicly.
Are you able to elaborate on that?
Well, for example, with our last exhibition here, Mr. Dunn had Albert make a presentation speech. But then, while the lad was speaking, Mr. Dunn interrupted him, asking him difficult questions, making him look like a failure. It was with the intention of making a fool of him, Mr. Holmes.
That must have been terribly humiliating.
Yes, he was crushed, and he had to leave. Everybody was making fun of poor Albert. That is, except for Miss Margaret White, who is such a nice lady and who always takes pity on Albert.
On l'a toujours pas vue, elle,
You
d'ailleurs.
mentioned a Miss White. Would you tell us more about her?
She is a student who works here part-time. She is quite charming indeed. She possesses a great talent for botany. You should take a look at some of her experiments that she carried out in the laboratory. Ah, if only she were not so naive.
Why naive?
The way she used to flutter around Mr. Montague Dunn. And he couldn't help but be flattered by all her attention. How could an intelligent woman such as Miss White not see through his game? I can only scratch my head and wonder.
Serait-il pas un petit peu jaloux? Un petit peu.
Mr. Hamish, can you tell us who holds the keys to the locked greenhouses?
That would be Albert, Mr. Dunn's son. Yes, Albert keeps all the keys, and one can only imagine why.
What do you mean?
Well, he was never interested in Kew Gardens before. And now all of a sudden he is trying to act as if he owns the place. I think he wants to take over the management here. He'd do better to leave that to me. He has no experience. No, none at all.
Tell me, Mr. Hamish, do you grow the more deadly variety of plant here?
You mean insectivorous? Yes, but nothing larger than that.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish.
D'accord.
We shall continue our investigation.
On va aller parler à Albert, du coup. Vu que c'est lui qui a les clés.
Who is Miss Margaret White?
Ah, she is the young lady who studies with me. She visits here sometimes to help out with the greenhouses. In fact, she should be here today. She wanted to work at the seed house. That's the small greenhouse across from the large glass house.
We noticed that a part of the colonial collection has been cleared.
Ah, at the moment I'm just dealing with the storage room. I don't know much about the other rooms.
D'accord.
I imagine that your relationship with your father may have been a strained one.
Yes. I cannot say that he was a kind man, for he never listened to me at all. He forced me to work here. But now, after his death, I've been pondering it over. Perhaps he wasn't so wrong about me after all. I have to follow his path, and I have to manage Kew Gardens. And I can do it. I can be as good as any other who works here.
T'as raison.
Would you please tell us about Martin Hamish, the deputy director?
Well, I have to tell you that Mr. Hamish is not and has never been the deputy director of Kew Gardens. My father would not have tolerated it.
Indeed? Well, that is most interesting. He told us that he was.
Yes, because he believes that the management should be passed down to him now that my father is dead. But in actual fact, Mr. Hamish only has the honour of being the garden's longest-serving employee. In fact, if we are to think logically at all, it should be me who takes over the management of Kew Gardens.
Do you not have a good relationship with Mr. Hamish?
I suppose so. But we have very little in common. Mr. Hamish loves his plants and Kew Gardens, and I cannot say that I share his passion.
I see. And how was his relationship with your father?
Oh, he hated my father. It was obvious. He would be furious whenever my father boasted of Kew Gardens in the newspapers or at conferences. He was convinced that my father was stealing all of the credit for himself. But my father treated Mr. Hamish in the same way as he treated anyone. Dismissively. With indifference.
Ouais, son père n'avait pas l'air d'être très cool non plus, quoi.
Do you hold the keys to all of these locked doors?
Yes, you can have them. But I cannot give you the keys to the cloakroom. The employees' effects are private. I am sure you understand.
Bien sûr.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again
Trouver
soon.
Miss White. D'accord, donc on va aller chercher Miss White du coup. Après les vestiaires, on pourra y aller plus tard, c'est pas le souci.
Locked.
Alors ça, qu'est-ce que c'est? Oh. Table de laboratoire.
There was a bottle here. It left behind a trace of the substance that pervaded the laboratory.
D'accord.
Gold dust? Good heavens. What's it doing here?
The gold is almost immune to chemical attacks, so it may be a valuable auxiliary for various experiments.
But why would anyone perform such experiments in a botanical garden?
Several drops of the substance were spilled. Someone carried this bottle around.
D'accord.
Several drops of the bottle is no longer here, but it is possible to detect a faint...
Il nous faut un nez, ouais, donc il va nous falloir notre chien. Voilà, allez chercher Toby. D'abord, on va continuer à regarder un peu tout.
This is a table for experiments. It resembles my own.
Only this one is kept in good order, Holmes.
Ouais.
A phonograph used for voice recording. Remarkable.
Yes, this is quite a modern laboratory.
On peut entendre?
Martin Hamish's perception of plants. The notion of communication in the plant world has long been
Énorme.
considered marginal, yet I remain convinced that some plants do indeed transmit chemical signals in the event of attack.
A study report by Martin Hamish.
D'accord, et l'autre c'est quoi?
And it seems clear from these multiple experiments that plants do respond to their environment and have a form of consciousness. Margaret White, February 1895. Report number 245.
Study report.
D'accord.
Chemicals. A sufficient quantity for some serious experiments.
Ok.
A botany book. This student's book belongs to...
Ouais, donc en gros là c'était le laboratoire en fait. Qu'est-ce que... Ouais. Ah.
Such masks are generally... gloves.
Do they grow dangerous plants here?
It appears as though the protective equipment...
Comme par hasard. Je trouve ça bizarre, mais après voilà. On va essayer de chercher Miss White. Et après on ira chercher Toby une prochaine fois. Je crois que j'ai pas pris la bonne entrée. C'est pas grave. Ah.
Look, Holmes, this charming lady must be Miss White. She's entering the seed house.
Oui, bon on va la rattraper, t'inquiète. Regarde, on va passer par là. Et hop.
Open.
Open. Margaret White.
Good day to you, miss. You have some very beautiful plants here.
Why, thank you, sir. And good day to you too. But...
Oh, I do beg your pardon. My name is Dr. John Watson. This is my good friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
I am honored to make your acquaintance, gentlemen. My name is Margaret White. Excuse me, but are you Sherlock Holmes, the great detective?
Yes, I am he.
What a pleasure to see you here at Kew Gardens. Are you working on a case?
Ok, elle a l'air de nous connaître apparemment. En même temps, on est Sherlock Holmes, on est assez connu donc. Alors. Parfum raffiné. Bien sur le visage. Marque rose. Famille pauvre, ok. Et. C'est tout? Il manque un truc. Il manque un petit truc. C'est au niveau du visage. Non. C'est au niveau de la robe alors. La ceinture, non? Ah, c'est l'alliance. Elle est célibataire, quoi, oui.
Yes, a theft of plants that took place here a few days ago after their most recent exhibition.
Oh yes, of course. I quite forgot about that.
Et t'as aussi oublié la mort?
Oh, it's quite understandable that you might forget about the theft of the plants, miss, after the tragedy that took place here.
Yes. The director was a truly good man. It is such a terrible misfortune.
Oula, on a tout plein de questions à lui poser du coup.
Would you happen to know why part of the colonial collection was cleared?
No, I have never been there.
Do you work here?
Part-time only. I am a biology student at the London University. I attend the same classes as the son of Mr. Montague Dunn. That is how I found my chance to work here for part of my thesis, you see. It is a great honor.
D'accord.
How well did you know Mr. Montague Dunn?
He was a master, a great leader. I saw him almost as a spiritual father.
He had an exceptional nature?
Oh yes, indeed. He was always so active and so optimistic and very nice to me. Although he could behave harshly towards his son.
Why so?
He loved his son dearly and wanted the very best for him. It made him extremely demanding. Albert, who is naturally shy, suffered because of it.
Bah ouais, tu parles le critiquer et tout l'humilier en public, on va dire ça à aimer une personne, mais quand... Pourquoi pas?
Most of the doors in Kew Gardens are locked. Do you have a key to this room?
Oh, yes. Albert gave me a set of duplicate keys. He agreed I might carry out my studies without disturbing him. It is only temporary.
Ouais. Elle m'a l'air de pouvoir avoir tout ce qu'elle veut quand même.
None of the 3 people who work at Kew Gardens know why half of the colonial collection was cleared. So, someone is lying. It is
Bien
obvious.
sûr. Alors... Est-ce qu'il y a un truc dans le coin? Ça m'a pas l'air. Ah, ça je voulais. Alors, si quelqu'un ment... On peut l'ouvrir ça, ouais. Qu'est-ce que c'est ça?
A ventilation system. It should regulate. A ventilation.
Ouais, un truc à utiliser, je l'ai vu.
A water tank.
Une cuve d'eau, ok. Dépôt. Ouais. Ok, bah ouais, mais qui... Pour savoir qui ment, ça va être compliqué quand même. On va aller chercher Toby, du coup. Ah, je me trompe tout le temps de bouton, c'est chiant. Alors, on va aller chercher Toby. Notre petit Toby, notre petit chien. On va lui faire rechercher la trace là, et puis après, on s'arrêtera là, je pense. Ça peut être pas mal. On a quand même beaucoup d'informations, donc... Alors, mon chien, t'es où? T'es là. Viens là, mon Toby.
Come on, Toby. We have some work for you to do. Let us go to Kew Gardens.
Oh, putain, j'en ai marre. Alors, retournons au jardin botanique. Hop. Avec Toby, cette fois-ci. Oui, Sherlock, j'ai dû comprendre ça. C'est bon.
Search, Toby. Search.
Ah ouais, on rejoue le chien, trop bien. Alors, faut suivre la trace verte. Voilà, genre le chien, il ouvre les portes. C'est drôle, tu sais. Allez, Toby. Courage. J'aurais pu donner un chien avec un peu plus de pattes. Qui puisse courir un peu plus vite quand même. Et genre, ça choque personne qu'il y ait un chien qui se dépasse. Normal. Alors, par là, par là. Et ici. Il va nous faire tout le tour du jardin. Par là. Je le prends pas dans ta bouche, Toby, on sait pas ce que c'est. Hein.
Congratulations, Toby. Now let us see what you have found.
Ok.
This is the bottle that was used in the laboratory. It was buried here. There is still some liquid remaining in the bottle, with gold flakes, a tiny caterpillar. Not surprising to see one in a garden, but at the bottom of a bottle.
Ouais, ok. Et du coup, je suppose... C'est quoi notre prochain truc? Je suppose qu'on va devoir aller les inspecter. Voilà, on a tout plein de trucs à faire. Voilà, on doit aller les analyser. Et ça... C'est quoi? Consulter les archives. Bah écoutez, on va aller rentrer à la maison, du coup. Ah, et on va faire ça. On va faire tout ce qu'il nous demande et on va se quitter un peu après. Je pense que ça ira. Bah en fait, finalement, on va s'arrêter là parce que je viens de voir la durée de l'épisode et je vais pas avoir énormément de coupures à faire dans cet épisode-là. Et donc, du coup, on analysera et on regardera dans les archives dans le prochain épisode. Donc j'espère que celui-ci vous aura plu. N'hésitez pas à laisser un commentaire, un pouce j'aime, ça fait toujours plaisir. À vous abonner si ce n'est pas déjà fait. À me rejoindre aussi sur les réseaux sociaux. Tous les liens sont par d'infos. Sur ce, moi je vous fais plein de gros bisous et je vous dis à la prochaine.